Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Ako po si G. Tanji coming to you from Los Angeles, California. Today on Kababayan Today, it's all about students in Southern California that are strengthening their roots as Filipinos in higher education by empowering and inspiring one another. Joining us today, kasama natin si Zachary Chaco, or Zach, who's a fourth-year computer science major at the University of Southern California. Zach was born in Guam, but San Diego is home. Kasama rin natin si Kristine de Guzman de Los Santos. She's a third-year political science and Asian American studies double major at UCLA. Very impressive. Kristine is a second-generation Filipino American from Loma Linda. She has been heavily involved in Samahang Filipino at UCLA since her first year there. And last person on our panel, but certainly not the least, kasama natin si Kevin Casasola. He is a third-year statistics major at UCLA. Kevin is a second-generation Filipino American from Temecula. His passion for community organizing has been evident in his involvement with Samahang Filipino internships and several of its community service projects. Let's get to know SCPASA and Samahang Filipino as an organization. Thank you so much for joining us once again, guys.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Okay, so you guys are pretty impressive, huh? I mean, double majoring. I mean, getting into schools like UCLA and USC, really, you have to be cream of the crop. Right. And I just know because it is hard. It is hard to get good grades. A lot of pressure is riding on you. Right. You know, your parents expect a lot, but there's so much going on. You're meeting new people. What does it mean to be a Filipino American in a college setting? Zach?
Right. So I'm the first of my family to go to college, and that in itself has been a, first of all, a tremendous blessing, but also a very transitional experience. In that I have no idea what I'm getting into every single day, and from that point on, it's just the world is my oyster, and yet it seems so full of wonder, and there's a lot to do.
Yeah, it can be overwhelming,
right,
can't it, Zach? I mean, really, especially being the chair of SCPASA, I mean, you are talking to a lot of students, a lot of organizations, as well as, you know, making sure that you're getting good grades. I mean, a lot is going on, right? Yeah. Kristine, let's talk about you growing up in Loma Linda, right? You deciding to also double major, you've got a lot on your plate.
Yeah, what do you want to know?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, you're very busy, yet you continue to be focused on school, but at the same time, you're strengthening the student community. Why are you so passionate about being able to do all of these things all at the same time?
Well, I think for me personally, just my experience with growing up in my household, it was not as Filipino as I would have liked it to be. I think I lost a lot of, you know, a sense of myself when I wasn't I guess, introduced to the culture and the history and everything. And when Samahang Filipino came around during my first year of college, you know, I fell in love with the program. I fell in love with the relevant education, the way that everything that we talked about, you know, in one way or another was applicable to me or applied to someone in my family. And because of that, I did change my major to political science and Asian American studies to try and pursue some sort of education that would allow me to empower myself and give back once I'm done at UCLA.
Okay, let's be honest here.
Okay.
When you told your parents you were changing majors, lagot! How was that?
That was difficult. Before the political science and Asian American studies, I was a psychobiology major. I wanted to do applied developmental psychology and work with kids. But I think, you know, my mom at first was just very nervous because she wants the best for me, you know.
Of course, all our parents want the best for us because, you know, it's a struggle to come to America. I mean, the immigration process is very traumatic in its own. So as a parent myself, I can only say, yes, you know, I want you to be a professional, but if you decide not to be a nurse, it's also okay, right? Okay, Kevin, what about you? You are at UCLA, very involved in Samahang. Parents can probably say that, what are you doing in all with these clubs, you know? You're just hanging out. Focus on your studies. What can you say to that?
Well, I mean, I definitely, from my experience, kind of like Kristine, when I grew up in Temecula, I wasn't really surrounded by a lot of Filipinos. Most of the Filipinos I knew were from the church, and we just kind of hang around and, not really talk about the experiences we've had growing up. So when I came into college, similar to Kristine, I met with Samang Filipino, and that really became my first home, because then I started talking with other students, other fellow Filipino Americans, who I realized had a very similar narrative to mine, and they understood my struggle, and that's where we found a sense of purpose and a sense of community, that we could understand each other, and that helped us all grow together as a community and help fight those type of community conditions.
Yeah.
So now, because of that, I became growing up with Samahang, I ended up becoming external vice president. And what's really exciting with Samahang Filipino is we really are, one of our main goals, or one of our main campaigns this year, is a campaign for Filipino studies. We grow up not hearing about the beautiful Filipino American history until we get into college, and I think that's a shame. So at Samang Filipino, we want to start that process early by encouraging Philippine studies programs at the universities and at the K through 12 level.
Okay, you are campaigning right away. Go, Kevin. All right, when we return, we're going to get to know Samahang Filipino as well as SCPASA, its missions and its visions. We'll be right back.